Namaskar. Greetings to one all. अतिथि देवो भव, खेती में भारत की धरा, स्वागत करके आपका निभा रहे हैं हम परंपरा. I, Dr. Sindhu Kapoor, Dean, Faculty of Social Sciences, Cluster University of Jammu, on behalf of Postgraduate Department of Commerce, School of Social Sciences, take the proud privilege to extend a very cordial and hearty welcome to all the distinguished guests inside the studios and the live audiences connected through our official Facebook page of School of Social Sciences. On the occasion of commemoration of International Human Rights Day, we are glad to organize this one-day national webinar on the theme of female labor force in India, issues and challenges. I am joined by my whole university, including deans of the faculties, registrar, faculty, and students, besides innumerable social activists of repute, to greet the leading light and torchbearer of gender equality and champion of human rights in the country, esteemed Madam Jyotika Kalra ji, Honorable Member, National Human Rights Commission of India, as chief guest at today's webinar. We are beholden to your good self-respected madam for your gracious and kind presence. आपने हमारा निमंत्रण स्वीकार कर हमें गौरवान्वित किया है. यह हमारा अहोभाग्य है कि आपका सानिध्य व आशीर्वाद हमें आज प्राप्त हो रहा है. Your virtuous and virtual presence, madam, has bestowed a moment of immense pleasure on the School of Social Sciences in particular and the Cluster University on the whole. Heartiest welcome, Honorable Madam. With great joy and exultation, I welcome the reverenced patron of the webinar, Honorable Vice-Chancellor, Cluster University of Jammu, Professor Manoj Dhar ji. I am delighted to state that Honorable Vice-Chancellor is presiding over today's webinar. An administrator par excellence, a robust scientist, Professor Dhar is heading two ace and leading universities of our union territory at present. A constant source of inspiration, worthy Vice-Chancellor has always impelled us at School of Social Sciences to create, to innovate, and thus contribute to the society. Sir, I welcome you with ardor and zeal. I also consider it a great honor to greet a notable and illustrious social
Jyoti ji, for whom are we waiting for?
No, we have started, Jyotika ji.
Has it been started?
Yes, we are live.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
We are live, madam. We are live, madam.
Can you hear Sindhu ji?
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
I am not able to hear Sindhu ji.
Sindhu ji, can you hear me?
Yes.
Jyotika madam can't hear you.
Jyotika madam, can you hear us?
Sindhu Kapoor is yet not, her network issue is there.
No, I am live. Anamika ji, can you hear me? Anamika ji, can you hear me?
Yes.
Jyotika madam,
Jyoti-
we can hear her. You just check your settings. We can hear her. Maybe you can log in again.
Jyotika Chauthaiwale madam, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I have requested her to log in again. Maybe some technical problem.
Okay.
Let's wait.
Okay.
And then
Let's
confirm
wait.
with her and then we can proceed.
Sure, we can wait. Sometimes technology can play trump.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I have messaged to her private secretary.
Yeah. Maybe you can call him again if you wish
Yeah.
to. Yes, Jyotika ji. Jyotika madam, can you hear us?
I can hear you, Jyoti. I'm very much on board.
Yeah.
Honorable
Dr.
Madam,
Sindhu
can
Kapoor,
you
I
hear me?
think there's some network issue with her connectivity.
Madam, can you hear me? Honorable Madam, can you hear me?
Jyotika ji, can you hear Sindhu ji? She has started talking.
No, Sindhu ji, I can't, but I can hear you.
Sindhu ji, try again.
Should I?
Is she audible for you, Jyotika ji?
To my understanding, is she audible to you?
Yeah, she is audible to all of us except you.
To all of you?
Madam
Yeah.
is also audible to me.
I don't know.
Yeah. And all of us are audible to her. Maybe Sindhu ji, would you like to log in again?
Let her continue.
Can you,
Jyotika ji, Sindhu ji is trying to log in again. Let's see.
Madam, now can you hear me? Madam, now can you hear me? Honorable Madam, now can you hear me? Honorable Madam, now can you hear me?
Jyotika ji?
Yes.
Now can you hear me? Honorable Madam, now can you hear me? Honorable Madam is unable to hear me probably. Now, Madam Chauthaiwale, please guide me how to proceed ahead, because Madam is unable to hear.
Yeah, I'm trying to call her office.
Oh,
Because
Jyoti,
everybody
I'm very much there.
Yeah. We can listen to you, Madam. We can listen to you, Madam. Madam, can you hear me?
Jyotika ji?
Yes, I'm very much there.
Yeah, so shall we start?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, Sindhu ji, let's go ahead. And I have called her office also, and they may help her to solve the problem.
Sure. You're right, ma'am, because everybody else is able to hear, and I am there to hear Madam also. So I think we should proceed ahead, because it is our proud privilege to welcome Honorable Madam, National Human Rights Commission of India, esteemed Madam Jyotika Kalra ji, our presiding officer, Vice-Chancellor, Cluster University of Jammu, Professor Manoj Dhar ji, and our special guest, Shri S. Santhimanalan ji. Santhimanalan ji is a notable and notorious and a very illustrious regional director who happens to be the Central Apprenticeship Advisor, Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India. My sincere respect and regards are due to you, sir, for exhibiting keen and genuine interest in the educating masses regarding skill development programs, especially for the women. Most welcome, sir. I am also profusely elated to greet the most versatile and much venerated resource person, Dr. Jyoti Chauthaiwale ji, an amalgam of scientific spirit, educationist elan, and social activist avidity. Dr. Jyoti Chauthaiwale is the true and real harbinger of this whole theme and thus the webinar. Madam, we are pleased to welcome you with the hope that you will continue to steer us, to lead us. I also take this opportunity to welcome Dr. Anamika Singh, an enthusiastic member of Bharatiya Stree Shakti and postdoctoral fellow, Department of Geography, Benares Hindu University. Dr. Anamika is an embodiment of most affable and ebullient persona who has graphically written and researched on the various dimensions of women and human rights. I also render warm welcome to all the worthy officials of the university, Revered Dean Academic Affairs, respected registrar, deans of the faculties, scholars, students, women, and human activists, for having joined us online to ponder over the topic of female labor force in India, issues and challenges. If India has to grow as a superpower, be it economically, socially, spiritually, or morally, parity between genders is an indispensable prerequisite. हम सब जानते हैं नारी सशक्तिकरण अनिवार्य है. हम सब मानते हैं कि मातृ शक्ति का देश की बागडोर में बराबर का सहयोग अवश्यंभावी है. We all believe in sustainable development goals, particularly SDG 5, that is achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. तो फिर समस्या कहाँ है? The fact is, generally, when women work, they tend to be paid less. Besides, they are engaged in unprotected jobs, often with low productivity. The female labor force participation rate in India has always been one of the lowest among the emerging economies. Women account for 39% of the labor force globally. According to International Labour Organization's report of 2019, 1.3 billion women were in work in 2018 as compared to 2 billion men, a less than 2% improvement in last 27 years. The report has also highlighted that women are paid 20% lower than men. I am sure all of us here would agree that the issue has turned more grave in the wake of the present pandemic situation. To take the discussion further, I, with the permission of the esteemed chief guest and distinguished presiding officer, would request our first speaker, Dr. Anamika Singh, to throw the light on this topic with her presentation. Now, stage is to you, for you, Dr. Anamika.
Thank you, Madam. Respected Madam Jyotika Kalra ji, Honorable Member, National Human Rights Commission of India, respected Professor Manoj Dhar ji, Vice-Chancellor, Cluster University of Jammu and University of Jammu, respected Dr. Jyoti Chauthaiwale ji, National Executive Member, Bharatiya Stree Shakti, and respected Shri S. Santhimanalan ji, it is my pleasure to be with all of you on a topic of contemporary relevance. Myself, Dr. Anamika Singh, postdoctoral fellow at Banaras Hindu University and member of Bharti Sri Shakti. First of all, I would like to give a brief introduction about Bharti Sri Shakti. Bharti Sri Shakti was founded in 1988 as a voluntary autonomous political organization committed to empowering women, families, and the society at large. Our activities focus on 5 key aspects called Panchasutri. These are education and skill development, mental and physical health, self-esteem, economic independence, and gender equality. We work in majority of states including Maharashtra, Gujarat, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, Delhi, Goa, Uttar Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, and Odisha. Presently, our BSS Uttar Bharat team is actively working at Delhi, Noida, Ghaziabad, Lucknow, Jaipur, Varanasi, Jammu, and Chandigarh. Our BSS activities are as follows. Our counseling centers have handled so far over 5,000 cases successfully. We have reached over 5,000 women through our legal awareness programs. Our workshop, Kali Umaltana and Adolescent Aid Training, has already empowered over 2 lakh girls. We have conducted gender sensitization program for over 7,000 teachers and students. Now starting with the main topic for labor today, female labor force in India, issues and challenges. As we all are aware that labor force participation rate is defined as the percentage of persons in labor force working, seeking or available for work in the population. The labor force participation rate is an important indicator that reflects economy's active workforce. Now coming towards the importance of female labor force participation. Female labor force participation is an important driver of growth and development. According to the United Nations Global Compact, raising women's participation in labor force to the same level as men can boost India's GDP by 27%. According to the Ministry of Statistical Program Implementation, in India's female labor force participation rate fell to its lower level since independence in years 2017 and 18. For example, in 2004, it was 29.4%. In the year 2017-18, it was 17.5%. And in the year of 2018-19, it was 18.6%. According to Global Gender Gap Report in India 2019-20 released by World Economic Forum, India has dropped 4 places from 2018 to 19-20. Coming through the reasons of decline of female labor force participation in India. Increased mechanization in agriculture. According to Dr. Farzana Afridi, Associate Professor, Indian Statistical Institute, women labor force participation is declined in rural India and is low and stagnant in urban India. In agricultural, seed and fertilizer drill, harvesters and threshers have replaced manual labor, which was traditionally done by women. Second, lack of availability of employment opportunities. other than agriculture in rural sector. Primarily due to shrinking of the agriculture sector, there is decline in self-employed women in farms, while alternative jobs in the manufacturing sectors are missing. Third, rising household wealth. In Indian culture, women are considered as secondary income earners because they only join workforce during any sort of economic crisis in their families, and when the crisis is solved, then they leave the work. So we can say that rising household income leads to women dropping out from labor force. Fourth, cultural attitude. According to anthropologist M.N. Srinivas, in his study in rural South India, he documented that widespread belief that when women work for wages, it's an indicator of lower family status. Indian women with moderate level of education withdraw from the labor force. Such women are able to marry into richer family and don't need to engage in paid work to support the family, and they are valued for their ability to manage domestic tasks. Some more studies concluded that women from higher status families are less likely to work outside the home. Fifth, lack of family support. According to NSSO data, over the period of 1993 to 2018, married and child-bearing rural women have lower female participation rate because they have to bear the prime responsibility of taking care of children and elderly persons in their family and also doing the other household work. In our society, cultural norms also restrict the number of jobs that are considered acceptable for women. For example, men with 10 plus 2 years of education get a wide range of urban jobs like driver, sales agent, technician, etc. For similarly educated women, many of these jobs are often neither socially acceptable nor easily available because of widespread occupational segregation, lack of facilitating factors. Mehrotra point out that lack of facilitating factors in workplace, such as flexible work arrangements, institutional support for childcare like maternity leave and crèches, also actively contribute to women withdrawal from labor force. Women's employment discouraged due to women's employment also discouraged due to the Maternity Act Amendment 2016. The Maternity Act Amendment 2016 places the entire cost burden of women's leave on employers, disincentivizing women's hiring in the formal sector. At last, I would also like to draw your kind attention on the results of a personal survey of 80 highly educated women of age group 30 to 40 years. These women have responded many sensitive questions related with a growing economy like India, where job opportunities are increasing gradually due to better educational status of contemporary Indian women. It is clearly observed that the fertility rate has fallen now. One observation of the survey was surprising that while the improved status of domestic support, the female labor force participation has remarkably declined. One major concern of most of the surveyed women was related with their children. As if they join a job, their kids will stay alone at home. And due to increased use of ICT gadgets and internet, they may get exposed to the undesirable content, which further grab them in technological insanity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anamika. You have explicitly introduced the theme of the webinar. मगर अब सोचने का विषय ये है कि क्या महिलाओं की पार्टिसिपेशन व भागीदारी के बिना मानव अधिकार संभव है? नहीं, शायद नहीं, क्योंकि विघ्न अभी अनेक हैं। इस पथ में पड़े हुए मानवता की राह रोककर पर्वत अभी हैं अड़े हुए। But I believe that every problem has got a solution. To talk about the ways and means to take on challenges and increase female labor force participation, Dr. Chauthaiwale ji, Jyoti Chauthaiwale ji is with us. Dr. Jyoti Chauthaiwale is PhD in biochemistry from Pune and has been postdoctoral researcher at NIH, Bethesda, USA. Having teaching experience, she has also, to her credit, many research papers which have been published in several peer-reviewed journals. Madam Chauthaiwale is associated with various social activities related to women empowerment for the last 20 years. Dr. Jyoti is also a member of National Executive Committee, Bharatiya Stree Shakti, and part of core group on women of National Human Rights Commission, besides being the resource person for Pariksha Parv, counseling conducted by National Commission for Protection of Children's Rights, that is NCPR. Now, I may take the privilege to invite Madam Chauthaiwale to make her presentation on the theme, Bringing Women Back to Work. Madam, please take over.
Thank you, Sindhu, madam. I hope all of you can see my screen. Sindhu, madam, can you see my screen?
We cannot see the screen, madam. You can share it?
Yes, I have already.
Sharing can be done.
I have already shared. Can you see?
No.
Okay, let me try again.
Sure, please.
Now, can you see my screen?
No, screen sharing is still to be done. Otherwise, ma'am, you can make your presentation. Otherwise also?
Yes, I can, but let me see. Let me try again. Because when I tried, now can you see?
No. During the trial session, yes, we could see, but not now.
Ma'am, there is a share screen option in the bottom of the screen. You can click on the share screen option. After clicking on share screen, a dialog box will open up.
Yes,
I can see Jyoti. I can see you.
In the dialog box, you can click on share entire screen option.
Yes, I did.
After that, you will be able to see a small screen inside the dialog box. You can click on that. After clicking, after that you can click share option.
Okay, okay, got it.
Yes, ma'am, I'm able to see it now.
Now can you see? Okay, sorry for the technical problem.
No, ma'am, certain days are meant for glitches. No issues when you all are with us.
Yeah. Now, good afternoon, honorable member NHRC Jyotika Madam ji, then honorable BC sir Professor Manoj Dhar ji, respected Santhimanalan ji, Dr. Sindhu Kapoor madam, Dr. Anamika madam. I'm very happy to share with you my today's topic, bringing women back to work as a part of female labor force in India, issues and challenges at School of Sciences Cluster University. Now, as Anamika has already explained, we are part of Bharatiya Stree Shakti, and our activities of women empowerment are based on 5 key aspects, what we call Panchasutri: education and skill development, mental and physical health, self-esteem, economic independence, and gender equality. When we are talking about labor force participation rate related to today's topic, it's an important metric used to analyze employment and unemployment data, as Anamika ji has already explained. And very importantly, this rate, the labor force participation rate, is a driver of economic growth of the country. When we are talking the females' share of the labor force participation, this female labor force participation, as our population includes 50% of the women, it's an important outcome and driver of growth and development of country. As already discussed by Anamika, this is what the picture is. It has drastically decreased in 2017 and 18, which there was slight increase in 18-19. But this is a major concern, the decline in the female labor force participation rate. Also, what worries us is the position of India in Global Gender Gap Report 2020, which is 149 out of 153 economies. So now, as already discussed, that more women are getting education, there is decrease in fertility rate, and till now, just leave the pandemic era, increasing economic growth. And despite of all these factors, why do work participation of Indian women is low? That we have seen many reasons. And as we know, the woman's decision to work is influenced by family, marital, educational, and social status. So, as getting back them to work, so bringing them back to work needs concerted efforts by all stakeholders, government, private sector, media, civil society, and to make them the more participation by work and retaining them as well as progressing them in the work. Now, what all we can do? So, what are the recommendations or suggestions? The employer at workplace should have healthy and conducive atmosphere. They should address women's biological needs, and maternity leave should be strictly implemented. Also, in government sector, the childcare leave, maybe it could be divided among both parents so that the mother or the woman will not be away from work for long days. And another aspect is of Divyanga people or disabled people is that there should be accessibility audit for disabled people at workplace also. Now, there are multi-sectoral efforts needed to be done. When we are talking about government policies and all other programs, they should have some, for example, for skill training, they should have some gender-based targets. Also, they should have, in education sector, the increased access to for girls for the education institutes. Also, they should focus on the quality of education in terms of improving learning outcomes. When we are talking about corporate sector, it's not just we have to focus on the number, but these women should be mainstreamed and they should be given their due promotions and the due development. And important is the breaking gender stereotypes, which I'll come little later. As part of the society, we, civil society, maybe NGOs, social activists, or common people and media, which we can influence attitudes and choices of many women, we should encourage women to acquire job-related skills and knowledge. Then we should get involved in monitoring and evaluation of education and skill development related schemes and programs. And very importantly, highlight female role models and celebrate successful professional women. Anamika ji has already discussed the concerns of rural women. Now, as discussed, that work beyond agriculture should also be generated. Now, because of mechanization, many women are losing job, but they can also get involved using machines or procuring machines and how to get involved in machine-driven agriculture. Then other women in rural areas, for them, the remuneration of ASHA, Anganwadi and sanitation workers should comply with minimum ages, and that should be strictly followed. In urban areas, one of the suggestions is that urban employment guarantee scheme, similar to MGNREGA, that is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee in rural areas, which also encourage many women to join the labor force. Similarly, it should be implemented some of the schemes in urban areas too. Now, as we see, the education is the driving force to get more and more women into the workforce. But do we mean that education is directly proportional to the workforce participation? No, there is a huge gap. So we need to bridge the gap between education and employability, as well as education, skill development, and employability. Very important is the gender sensitization, which I'll come a little later. And during school and college days only, the students and especially girls should be aware of the laws related to women, and especially POSH, that Prevention of Sexual Harassment Act. All of you must be knowing National Education Policy 2020, and very interesting proposal is there, which should be implemented. So this will enable women to continue their work even after break. And even if they drop out after 1 year or 2 years, they will have something in their hand. For example, after 1 year, they will be getting certificate. After 2 years of the education, they may get diploma. And when they will complete 3 years, then they will get the graduation degree. So this will be quite flexible for women to get educated and so capable of getting the job of their choice. Now, very importantly, these days, just now we saw that we are able to meet each other or discuss important topics due to the advancement of information technology. Even online schooling, online teaching and learning is going on. Even many people, they are doing online businesses. So this will be a good asset for women that they should learn information and technology related skills. And then we can bridge the digital divide between men and women. Non-traditional and conventional livelihood areas like driving, plumber, carpenter, electrician. So this generally, when we think about skill development for women, is thought of kadhai ho, bunai ho, ya catering and cooking related skilling. But we should not gender the skilling. We should come out of that stereotype zone, and we should try some other unconventional livelihood areas. Another suggestion is that working women hostels should be there should be more working women hostels, and they should be functional properly. Along with working women hostels, there should be low cost or free or low rent open shelters available for these constructions worker or some sort of contract laborers. Then the major concern, if we see, is that whatever, it could be Nirbhaya or it could be other incidents, whatever sexual harassment cases or the violence against women cases happen are in the transport or commuting to work. So safety and security of women is very, very important in the workplace as well as while commuting. So POSH Act, that is Prevention of Sexual Harassment, should be followed very strictly in all the institutes, and as per the rule of POSH Act, regular gender sensitization workshops are essential at all the institutes and workplaces. Very important, as discussed, that marital status, family, and all these social norms, they affect the working women's condition. So we should focus on care economy, where there should be facility of creche in working area, and also they should think of paternity leave. So many women can share the maternity leave or the child care leave with their partner, and they won't be away from work for longer time. Very first thing, that how important or how reliable is for us to go by these numbers, because the National Sample Survey Office NSSO procedures has some kind of a little problems, because data collection tools and census data, they should define what is work and use better survey tools, because as discussed earlier, many women are involved in informal work or family owned businesses. So whether they are counted as working women or no, that is a question mark. Then that's the thing, that women's work, especially in the unorganized sector, is better identified and counting. Then only these numbers will make more sense. Then welfare boards like construction workers, domestic workers should be established, and it is necessary to have social audits of these boards to make sure that there is no gender-based wage gap. Now, this we are talking few suggestions, but already if we see that government has already has many schemes and policies from, as the Honorable Prime Minister's motto is, from women development to women-led development. For example, Ujjwala scheme, ensuring quality of life to women, so women can get more time for their education and work. Facilitating well-being of expectant mothers, they have increased 26 weeks of maternity leave, so it will make sure that they take care of family very well. As just now I discussed, that under the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, many women got their participation in the work. Then supplementing skills and supplying capital to Nari Shakti, and we know Mudra schemes and Stand Up India schemes. Securing women against violence, so we know after Nirbhaya there are many changes in the law. Then enhancement of honorarium for Anganwadi worker has been done, and even Asha workers have been given benefit package. So government is also doing its share. But very important is to understand that we have to break the gender stereotype. The gender stereotype means that there are certain notions, there are certain norms, that what boy should do and what boy should not do. So these do's and don'ts specific to boys or girls or men and women should be broken, and that the process is called gender sensitization. Just to quickly go through it, those who are not familiar with the terminology, we know the sex is male and female, and it's mainly biological or physiological characteristics, but gender, it could be masculine and feminine, and we need to understand that it is socially constructed roles, behaviors, and activities. For example, that we say that girls should play only with the dolls, boys should play only with the trains, something like that. Or at workplace, for example, that engineering work, very few women go for the engineering work or site work. These are just stereotypes, and stereotypes are the fixed ideas and assumptions about a group of people here about male or female. So we need to break these stereotypes at workplaces so that women have more opportunity for their work. And this gender sensitization programs of all the stakeholders, that is the modification of behavior by raising awareness of gender equality concerns and breaking the stereotypes. It should be throughout the life cycle of men and women, and it should be part and parcel of the all stakeholders of the workforce participation. And when we say gender equality, we mean equal opportunity, equal rights, and equal respect for women compared to men. And gender mainstreaming is essential at workplaces, because we have seen that at work, men are not given the appropriate dignity, or they are not given the higher positions, or certain work is reserved only for men. And so all type of work, all the opportunities should be made available to men and equally to women also. So this is about the awareness raising of different stakeholders and increasing the participation and representation of women in policy making. And important is when we are talking of different rates, so collecting sex and age disaggregated data. So that is very important, using proper data tools and the concerns on needs and concerns. So facilitating environment supportive gender equality and women's empowerment is gender mainstreaming. Unless and until gender mainstreaming is focused in workplaces, the real economic empowerment of women is not possible, though the numbers may rise. So it should be done at policy level, institution level, and beneficiary level. And as we have seen, the gender equality means availing similar opportunities, then realizing their full human rights potential to engage in and contribute to all sort of activities. So here again, so whenever we are talking about different policies, it could be education policies, it could be skill development policies. So women and men's concerns and experiences should be the integral dimensions of the design, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation of these policies. Then only we can see that due dignity or due respect is given to the women's work. Another, as just now I listed a few things, those what government has already doing and will be doing. But as a citizen or social activist or NGO or maybe researchers, are it is necessary for us to see the impact of those policies and programs, and monitoring and evaluation of those policies and programs. So there is one concept called gender budget. It has nothing to do with the accounting as such, but this is to ensure the benefits reach men and women both. So gender budgeting is a powerful tool for achieving gender mainstreaming, so as ensure that benefits of the development reach women as much as men. And this is not an accounting exercise, but it's about having a gender perspective in policy or program while formulating, while implementing and reviewing. So then only that what we know is at each stage of the workforce, we will get to know that are these women getting their equal share. So gender equality is similar opportunities. Mainstreaming is the integrating concerns and experiences of both. And budgeting is that benefits reach men and women both. But when we are talking about all this, and we are talking about improving the rate of women workforce in the workforce participation, are working women really economically empowered? Just think for a moment and see working women around you. Do you think they are really economically empowered? Do you think they are capable of taking their financial decisions of their own, of their family, or maybe at workplace? So this is a prime importance that we need to develop abilities and confidence to take financial decisions. So this financial decision makes woman economically empowerment or economically independent. Whether a woman is working or non-working, we have seen in many families that women are in charge of the financial management at home. So financial literacy is of prime importance when we are talking of economic empowerment. And just a simple thing that having short-term or long-term savings plans for savings is also kind of getting economically empowered and thinking about the family in right sense. So these are the references which I have seen. So in short, the female labor force in India, when we're talking of issues and challenges, the important is bringing women back to work. Because LFPR is a driver of economic growth of the country, and the FLFP, that is female labor force participation, is an important outcome and driver of growth and development of the country also. Many socio-cultural factors influence women's decision to work. And right now, the decline is labor force participation of women is a major concern for country's growth and the development. And we need to have multi-sectoral approach to bring women back to work. That is government, corporate, civil society, education, skill development, so safe and secure environment, support system for working women. And as I have told, when we are talking about numbers, we need to refine the data collection instruments, like how we define work and how we get better tools. Then, though government is working on from women development to women-led development, we must see the monitoring and evaluation of different policies. What are the impact of those policies? Also, the gender budget analysis. Gender sensitization should be life cycle approach for all men and women. It should start from the school, it should be in the college, and it should be at workplace also. Because it's the way we shape our thoughts, our family background, our cultural, religious beliefs, and our socio-cultural norms. They decide how we see man or woman or boy or girl, do's and don'ts. Then, as just discussed, that gender budgeting, that is the gender perspective of formulation, implementation, and review of policies and programs is very important. Gender sensitization, gender mainstreaming, gender budget steps, these are the steps towards achieving gender equality and making working women economically empowered. We should not just go by the numbers. So earlier I have discussed 5 aspects of women empowerment and female workforce participation. So how I can relate all these aspects of women empowerment is that we know that once a woman is educated and undergoes the skill development programs, it will enable women to participate in workforce quantitatively as well as qualitatively. And this will make women economically independent or economically empowered. Remember, in this case, we need to focus on their financial decision-making development and boost their this whole process will boost their self-esteem, the education, skill development, then the job opportunities, getting associated with a good job, and becoming economically independent and empowered will boost their self-esteem. And this is essential for healthy body and healthy mind of a woman, which then will get to the family as well as society and the healthy nation. The process leads to empowerment in real sense when based on gender equality foundation. So this is what I mean to say, that yes, we are looking at the numbers, we are looking at the work participation rates for women, and also we are talking about the reasons why the rate is dropping down, and then we are trying to find out the solutions for that and how to bring those women back to work. But very important is that we need to change the mindset, and all these things should be based on the gender equality foundation. Thank you very much. Thank you, School of Social Sciences, Cluster University, Jammu. Thank you very much, Honorable Jyotika Madam, National Human Rights Commission, and importantly, my seniors and colleagues from Bharatiya Stri Shakti, and all of you who are listening to me. Thank you for listening with great patience. Thank you very much.
Jyoti, it's nice that you included the recommendations of the National Human Rights Commission.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
That all those recommendations, which were the core group of women of which you are a part, and the recommendation which had come, you included those recommendations in your presentation, and that is good. You know, this is the way how the initiation of the ideas spread and message reaches to the masses. And I would like you to please mention that these are the recommendations of the core group of National Human Rights Commission, of which you are yourself esteemed member. Okay, thank you so
just
much.
let me correct whatever Jyotika Madam has suggested. As Sindhu ji has mentioned in my introduction, I'm a part of a core group of women of NHRC, and as on behalf of Bharatiya Stri Shakti. And recently, 17th November, we had a meeting on the same topic, and we deliberated this topic, and a lot of experts and many people from different government institutes as well as corporate and media and social activists, especially working from women, were present. And NHRC came up with recommendations, and along with my observations, my reading, and I have included most of the recommendations in my presentation. So again, I'm acknowledging that these recommendations are from NHRC, which I have already covered, and few things I've added. And thank you very much, NHRC, for giving me opportunity to be part of a core group on women. Thank you, Jyotika ji.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jyoti Chauthaiwale ji, for your detailed, wonderful, and stimulating talk. It also gives me immense pleasure to thank Honorable Member NHRC Madam Jyotika Kalra ji for her insightful intervention at this point of time. Absolutely true, Madam. Madam Jyoti Chauthaiwale ji is a very revered member of BSS, and at the same time, she is representing BSS at the core group for women in NHRC, and hence that is why I called at the very start that she is actually the sutradhar for the selection of the theme for the today's seminar, which is in commemoration of International Human Rights Day, which the world celebrated just yesterday. Thank you so much. And what Madam Chauthaiwale ji has just referred to, I'll also ever her when she says that education can be the instrument of change, and at the same time, it is high time when the stereotypes should be broken, especially it is high time when we have to stop gendering the skills, especially from the women's point of view, because what I feel is no society is ever perfect or ideal. As Karl Popper in his book, The Society and Its Open Enemies, had also referred that no society can ever go for metamorphosis. It is the concept of social engineering which should be followed for the reformation of the system as and when required. And definitely यही हम कोशिश करते हैं, क्योंकि जीवन चक्र से आस रखते हैं, इसीलिए प्रयास करते हैं। मन सदा ही चंचल रहता, युग युगांतर तक प्रबल इसका वेग, मन वश में रहे ये आस रखते हैं, इसीलिए हम सब यहाँ पर प्रयास करते हैं। With these words, now may I invite Shri S. Santhimanalan, ISDS Regional Director, with the charge of Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, Union Territory of Ladakh, and the state of Himachal Pradesh from Regional Directorate of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India, to make his presentation on the various endeavors and schemes which the Union government is pursuing in this very direction. May I invite Mr. S. Santhimanalan, sir.
Good afternoon, madam. Honorable member of National Human Rights Commission of this India, madam, and Honorable Vice-Chancellor, University of Jammu, and a Cluster University of Jammu, and Scientist National Executive Member, madam, distinguished scientist Dr. Andimika Singh, and Dr. Sindhu Kapoor, Dean University of the Jammu Cluster. So today I want to be share about our what are the schemes are there in the skill development department, and I will be presenting my PPT. So here, Minister of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship under there are the National Skill Development Corporation and National Skill Development Agency and Director General of Trading, DGT, and National Skill Development Fund and Entrepreneurship. These are all the four autonomous bodies that are under the Skill Ministry. Under our Ministry, Director General of Trading, we are implementing the Craftsman Scheme CTS and RDST and Crafts Instructor Training Scheme, Apprenticeship, then Content Development in NIMI. NIMI is a National Instructional Media Institute in Chennai, and Curriculum Development CSRI in Kolkata. So these are the organization. Now I will be explain the role of the DGT in the skill ecosystem. DGT is captured to different area of the skill ecosystem: ITA students, ITA trainees, apprentices, upgrading skill of the technician and the engineers, industries. Now we come to the DGT perform the role in different functions: affiliating, assessing, and certifying, and the schemes and projects, industry connect the apprenticeship, short-term and flexi MOU, curriculum content and teaching aid. Technology involve the new age courses, regulatory and secretary to the NCVT scheme, and outstretch through the institute, international and national collaboration. You come to this Regional Director of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, RDST. We are functioning, these are the activities we are carrying out under the RDST, implementation and monitoring of all the scheme under DGT, and coordinating with the trades testing cell for examination of all schemes, and handling of court cases of the schemes, coordination with the Ministry of Schemes like PMK and other DECO and then NULAM. The coordination for the establishing the skill university and extension centers. This total audit is around 22 all India basis. They set up the 22 RDST office. We come to this our ITA trainers, NSTA and IoTs. This is the main objective of this our scheme, to train the instructors in the techniques for the transferring the hands-on the skill and training methodology. And trades totally covered popular 27 engineering and 7 non-engineering trades. Total seating capacity for 11,506, 56. Then total institutes at IoTs across the India. There are Central Institute, NSTAs, total 33. Among the 33, 19 women institutes set up in all India, across the India. The capacity is 7,776. And private institute for training of trainers, that is 12. And total capacity is 30,060. The state government institute of training trainers, IoTs, 6 institute, then capacity is 720. So next you can see our National Skill Training Institute and Industries Institute for the training trainers. Totally 33 NSTs, 19 NSTWT, 18 IoTs, 6 states, government and 12 private. Now this NCVTs, we are under the NCVT Moderator, all the instructors to be certified. Need about the 90,000 instructors. We should conduct the crafts instructor scheme around 11,560 seats in the 34 trades and 27 engineering and 7 engineering trades. And advanced vocational schemes, there are 12 disciplines, the seating capacity 40,000, and craftsman training courses in all NSTA, WT, and craftsman training courses in New Age in the 13 NSTA. Training of the trainers, assessor, short-term training, and collaborate with the NSDSS. Even we should conduct our advanced vocational diploma at 16 NSTs in association with the IBM. You come to this, these are the list of Central Institute, NSTA and NSTA WT under the DGT. These are the places already they established the National Skill Training Institute 19 for the only exclusively for the women. For this non-engineering trade. You come to this 14 trade, this is both engineering trade only. Here also this both female and male, both are undergoing the trading. This will only for the woman tradings. You come to this apprenticeship. After this, normally this ITA, those who are complete ITA, they'll be further. They has to be go for the apprenticeship training in the industries, and pressure also it will be inducted in the apprenticeship scheme. You can see this overall position about the establishment. Those who are autonomous undertaking and as well as the central department, they are engaging total apprenticeship. You can see these are the total establishment 60,000 and number of updates is 1.7 lakhs. Now we come to the ITAs in the DGT. There are we have launched the ITA 1950 and total DGT employs 1,226. Administrative and financial control of the ITAs with the state government and UT administration, and offer the range of the vocational and skill training courses. You can see the number of ITAs already were established in the all the across the India. People. Now you can see this overall growth of the ITS and seating capacity from 2014 to 19. It is gradually increasing 15,697. You can see these top 10 courses in ITA. These are the popular most of the ITs covering in the across the India. The total ITAs and the total trainees are engaged. You can see this this is the one more dual system also introduced in the our Director General of Training. Most of the ITA there will be model ITA that will be selected under this. MOU will be signed with industries, and for main objective of this thing, strengthen the industry connect and impact the quality industries at relevant training, encourage the more participation from the ITs and industries. The second significant the changes to provide facilities and the changes in duration of the industrial training. You can see this system duration of the trade and courses minimum 6 months to 2 years. Even our industrial training will be 1 to 3 months, and first year 1 year courses 3 to 6 months, and 2 years courses 6 to 12 months. Then you can see this. This is the one sample I am showing for the Flex MOE on-campus training model industries with Maruti Suzuki. This main objective is to strengthen the industries for connecting the industries and impact the customize the industry relevant training for offer flexibility to create the tailored the training program. Now we come to these are reforms in the curriculum development. These are our total 137 courses have been aligned to NSQF and 35 new trades. Even QR codes also in each books already they made it, and now the question bank also there available in the Bharat Skill portal. Even English manuscripts for DB books. Now you can see this Bharat Skills. This is already the all materials, post material for the trainees with the different traders and the video. All things are is available. This Bharatskill.com in online content. Anybody can be see this site. They can be see all the content and question bank, all video, everything is available. This is already free of cost. They can go. Then you can come to this examination reforms. These are the self-center for the practical engineering drawing exam. And second, practical will be engineering drawing will be conducted by the state government, and supplementary exam to be conducted on demand for the students. Even RLP's examination also will be done NSTA, where trade is available and government ITs. Digitally signed certificate also will be issued to all the states. Introduce the electronic skill credential standards also. Now we come to this. Now this is the encourages female participation in the vocational training. Recently, the 11th September 2020, already our Minister of Skill Development and Director General of Training already they studied the entire training activities for this. Then now from that report, I was showing this female participation in IT over the years, 2014 to 2019, and the female enrollments is gradually increasing from the 2014 to 2019, and the male enrollments also gradually increasing from 8 lakhs to 10 lakhs. You see the proportion for the female out of the total enrollment in the engineering and non-engineering. Engineering trade is 33% to 4.28 is increasing from 2019. Non-engineering trade also gradually they are maintaining same percentage only. Now we come to this gender pressure seen through this concentration of the female trainees across the selected few ITAs in ITAs. Data from the ITA all over the country shows that between the 2014-18, female 80% of the female trainees enroll across the maximum of the 13 jobs. 13 jobs of the roles. These are the maximum. This is a popular trade. They are undergoing the all the women trainees under the vocational skill training program. Now this woman is mainstream. Engineering trades are almost negligible, and concentration around the vocational trades perceived to be the suitable for the woman. More than 1/3 of the females are enrolled in the sector with the low market demand. Yeah, another you see the multi-stakeholder engagement to understand the challenges to the female participation in ITs across the training life cycle. If you see the free training phase, IT beneficiary point of view, challenges female face in the assessing and pursuing the IT training, the female IT trainees and female IT alumni and female IT trainees dropout. You come to this transactions, employment, apprenticeship. In training phase, identification of barrier for challenges, IT principal, IT instructor, ITI, TCP go. We come to another barriers for to assessing the training at ITS as told by the female respondents during the study time, that the lack of pre-training, lack of awareness about the vocational training in ITI, the lack of awareness about the IT trades, and it is a ecosystem. Limited counseling and career guidance in the schools, lack of awareness about the job prospects after the completing the IT. You come to the financial constraints, cannot be afford IT free and other related expense. Discouraged due to the higher transport and the convenience cost. The tedious admission procedure, portal registration record access to the internet and computer. Dependency on the male family members, also the cyberscape added the cyberscape cost. You come to the society or the familiar resistancy, poor public persuasion of the ITAs. ITAs pursued to be the made dominated more number of the male instructors, reluctance for the parents to admit their daughter in the co-educated ITAs, and reluctance against the females to attend non-engineering courses. Here, this individual constraints also in absence of the pursue non-traditional courses and short-term courses for similar trades available, distant and non-availability of the transportation, safety and security concern. This is which is the another challenges for faced by the female while undergoing the training at ITA. The free training phase, the infrastructure inadequate, remote location of the ITA, unsafe surroundings, a lack of security personnel, a lack of convenience, transport support, lack of functional toilet in all ITAs. And male peers, ITAs stop maybe not be gender sensitized. Gender stereotypes sometimes by the instructors and influence size of the trades, lack of grievance, redressal cells, harassment, bullying by the male peers. Lack of career support, guidance, counseling, lack of counseling, orientation, support for the course selection, difficulty in dealing with the coursework and family responsibility, no avenue to discuss such issues. The issues behind gender limited course of the affaring to the choose from learning material, not in the regional language, erratic supply of the consumable material. You see the another in focus of the IT specific factors, the 25% need for the transport facilities, access to the ITAs and convenience cost. 21% prefer the free admission guidance, counseling for the job. 25% factors affecting the quality of the teaching, examples, insufficient equipment. Condition of the basic amenities such as functional and separate toilets, drinking water, 11% hostel facilities accommodation, and 11% value added training like a soft skill, presentation skill, language influence, etc. 8% instructions, material, training, and book is not in the vernacular. 8% burden of the domestic responsibility. You just this is another barrier faced by the female in assessing the labor market opportunity after the IT training. There is a 30% lack of the awareness labor market, and 22% lack of career counseling, and 20% lack of family support. Face 20% face difficulty in applying for the apprenticeship and jobs. 20% limited job for the trades preferred by the female, and 18% difficulty in the accessing the NAPS portal. So these are the job also. The last 5 years is the conducted 1033, and this is another challenges faced by the IT to improve the enrollment by the female trainees, as told by the IT functionaries. Even this government is IT the principals 26%, and private IT 24%, and a lack of awareness among the students 31%, and private is 14%, and lack of knowledge about the existing courses among the prospective students 14% for government IT, and 34 is a private IT. And unfamiliarity with the digital admission process, leniency for the billing 26% government IT, 21% private IT. And fewer courses popular with the women are offered by the IT, 6% in government, and the private is 14%. And lack of awareness about the industries related job opportunities, 14% is IT, government IT, and 3% private IT. So these are the this another as per the data from the sample ITIs, at an average 1/5 of these female trainees dropped out of the course before the completion. So normally the 95% marriage, a lack of family support, household responsibility of the trainee, and 25% unavailability of the household hostel facilities, lack of the funds for the hostel. 17% lack of the counseling, low motivation and interest of the trainees. 14% distance and safe route to ITI, unavailability of the transport facilities, and 14% minimum attendance rules, strict course requirements, reluctant for the family with the families attending the co-educated ITIs 90%, 6% burden of the additional cost associated with the program. These are the challenging cases by the IT, reducing the female dropout. You come to this is a recommendations are given by the committee for the skill Minister of Skill Development Entrepreneurship, the review of the policies and guidelines related to the ITIs and apprenticeships from the gender perspective. The incentive to the MSM to engage women as per apprentices and employees, and creation of the needs-based fund for the IT to support gender-friendly programs and activities. Scholarship for the female to overcome financial barrier, and incentive for those pursuing the engineering-related trades. The collaboration with the other ministry and the resource agency to leverage the support, and redefine the role of the NSTI, National Skill Training Institute, how to promote the gender dividing the IT. So next, again after that, again there some recommendation also suggested to our Director General of Training and support the State Director to create awareness about the ITs using the different media. Strengthen the counseling service for the females at all the stages. Safety and security of the females to be prioritized, and leadership training for the principals of the ITS, and gender sensitization of the faculty and students. Introduce the flexi approach to popularize the apprenticeship program among the students and MSMIs, and improve the MIC for the IT, NSA, and apprenticeship. So this is the overall recommendation already they have made it. This is my presentation. Now I thanks for once again for the Honorable Vice-Chancellor and Dr. Sindhu Kapoor, Dean of University of Jammu University, to share our digital activities to commemorations of the Women's Day. To have a nice day for all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Regional Director Shri S. Santhimanalan sir, for enlightening us with the various unknown but most relevant schemes which Government of India has offered for the welfare of women participation in the labor force. I sincerely hope, sir, that your deliberations and presentation, which you have made so graphically and vividly, would definitely educate one and all. Thank you, sir, for your presentation. Now I take the program further, and it gives me immense pleasure to say that at this webinar, we are blessed by the benign presence of Honorable Vice-Chancellor, Cluster University of Jammu, Professor Manoj K. Dhar, as the presiding officer. अपने विचारों की स्पष्टता, वाणी में मधुरता व आचार में उत्कृष्टता के लिए सब में जाने जाने वाले हमारे आज के कार्यक्रम के अध्यक्ष प्रोफेसर मनोज धर साहब के लिए मैं ये जरूर कहना चाहूंगी कि वे न पद के लिए न प्रतिष्ठा के लिए वे सदा काम करते हैं, कर्म करते हैं निज निष्ठा के लिए. With these words, I consider it my proud privilege and honor to request Honorable Vice-Chancellor, Cluster University of Jammu, Professor Manoj K. Dhar, sir, for his presidential remarks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Sindhu Kapoor. Respected Madam Jyoti Kalra ji, Honorable Member, National Human Rights Commission of India, Shri S. Santhimanalan ji, Regional Director, Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Dr. Jyoti Chauthaiwale ji, Scientist, Social Activist, and I am really pleased to know that you are a biochemist. I am from the field of biotechnology. Dr. Anamika Singh, postdoctoral fellow at BHU and also associated with Bharatiya Stri Shakti. Dr. Sindhu Kapoor, Dean, School of Social Sciences, Cluster University of Jammu. And all the distinguished participants, distinguished faculty members of Cluster University of Jammu and University of Jammu. Let me first of all, on behalf of Cluster University of Jammu and University of Jammu, welcome Madam Jyotika Kalra ji, Honorable Member, National Human Rights Commission. Ma'am, it is a pleasure and honor to welcome you to this webinar. And I also equally want to welcome Dr. Jyoti Chauthaiwale ji, who has been very kind to be here this afternoon and sharing her thoughts with us. And Shri S. Santhimanalan ji, again, who gave a very beautiful representation about what the government of India is doing so far as the skill development programs are concerned and how they are aimed at increasing the participation of women. And Dr. Anamika, again, she gave a very beautiful insight about the aims and objectives of Bharatiya Stri Shakti. And it's a pleasure to be here this afternoon and on the occasion of celebration of the Human Rights Day. And the Cluster University of Jammu and Heritage Society have come together to organize this event. I wish to first of all compliment you. We have just heard about the eminent speakers about various aspects related to the increasing of participation of or the challenges and the issues which are being faced by the women labor force. Dr. Anamika, she presented statistical data on the female labor participation, which has reduced from 18.6% from 29% about 15 years ago. And she also gave some more data on what are the issues related to women labor force. And Dr. Jyoti Chauthaiwale ji, she talked, she very elaborately discussed about various issues which are being faced, and she also provided the information about what could be done, because what is more important, in my opinion, is not only listing of the challenges and issues, but also the action points which need to be taken so that we are able to make the system more responsive towards the issues which are related to the women labor force. She talked about how we need to improve our workplace, which needs to be made female employee friendly, especially with regard to even government sector, corporate sector, and even media and other organizations, how we can make it better workplace for them. And I would also mention here that what Shri Santhimanalan ji said, that some of the barriers which are there so far as the participation of women in the work is concerned, there also he mentioned about some barriers, especially facilities in terms of accommodation, in terms of separate toilets, and all those issues which are confronting women, and that is the reason perhaps they are not coming more and more towards the workplaces. We we need to provide such kind of facilities to them. Then Dr. Jyoti also raised several important issues, and one thing which I really felt very interesting observation by her, and also I think that's an action point which I really feel is something which can be achieved and should be done, is related to the national education policy, which has been recently approved and which is being implemented in almost all the educational institutions of the country. And here she connected with what NEP is actually relevant in terms of women, that what you can say that after 1 year we can give them a certificate, after 2 years a diploma, and after 3 years. So this break period, which sometimes becomes more relevant to the working women, so there this possibility of having an academic credit bank which can be there, which is provided for in the national education policy, I think this is something very important and interesting. I really feel very happy that she has brought out this very important aspect, which can be really helpful to the women, because if there's a break in the career, so at least they can pursue their courses at their leisure, and then keep on earning the credits, and at the end of the time, when all the requisite number of credits have been earned, then they can be awarded a degree. I think this is a very, very nice thing which she has brought out. And then she has also talked about increasing the domain of activity of women from non-traditional livelihood areas, and also bridge the digital divide. Now, one more important point is that when we talk in terms of bringing more women to work, then definitely there has to be sharing of maternity and paternity kind of leaves, because women have to be free from some of the work some of the time which they are spending in taking care of the children and other aspects of our social life. And finally, she has talked about 3 important aspects, that is gender equality, gender budgeting, and gender mainstreaming. So I think she has touched upon almost all the points which are relevant, and therefore I found that rather than talking repetitive about these things again in my talk, so maybe I should once again highlight what she has said, and I really endorse all those points which she has said, and definitely this is the time when we need to work on. In my opinion, there are maybe 4 primary factors that will help explain India's low and potentially declining rate of female labor force participation. One is that it has something to do with our social norms that hinder women's agency, mobility, and freedom to work. Second, I feel that rising household incomes that create a disincentive for labor market participation among women. Third, disproportionate burden of unpaid work and unpaid care work on women. And fourth, the lack of quality jobs for women reinforced by gendered occupational segregation. And finally, a significant gender wage gap. So I think these are the primary factors which are explaining why there is low participation or why the participation is decreasing. And a very important factor, a key factor, I would say, is again the safety. There have been many concerns raised with regard to the safety of women while they are going for the workplace. It remains a key concern, and perception of danger actually, along with the social norms which are there, they restrict women's participation and mobility. So I think we need to focus more and more on this, that safety of women at workplaces, at outside their homes. These are major issues which need to be taken into account if we really want their equal participation. So I would say that as the regional director Saab has already talked about, that we need to actually enhance the framework of working, that which jobs can, so far we have been talking in terms of that there are some jobs which are very specific to males only, and less number of jobs for the females. I think that kind of a barrier, that kind of a mindset has to change. And I found that one example which I just wanted to quote, that when the medicines are to be tested, they are also tested on males. Despite there are evidences that women and men differ in their risk. Nobody can understand it better than Dr. Jyoti, because being a biochemist, you know that the male and female systems basically respond differently to different drugs. So I think, but by default, it has been a male. So there is that kind of a bias in certain things which need to be, I think these need to be removed. So in conclusion, I would say that policy interventions which are aimed at increasing female labor force participation must acknowledge the pervasiveness of gender stereotypes, and that lead to occupational segregation, unequal learning and skills development opportunities for boys and girls, and women's informal and unpaid work. So that is from the policy initiatives which have to take care. But otherwise also, we need to do a lot in order to see that this gender bias, this gap is taken care of, not only in terms of our working, but also in terms of the wages which are given to the women. So with these words, I once again welcome all the eminent speakers, and wish to thank the organizers, Dr. Sindhu Kapoor and her entire team, for taking this initiative and for involving me also in this discussion. Thank you so much, and we are very eagerly looking forward to hearing respected Madam Jyoti Kalra ji to have her inputs and her viewpoint on this particular important topic. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Vice-Chancellor, sir. Your remarks surely have triggered new ideas. Indeed, your auspicious presence and gentle words of wisdom are a source of encouragement for all of us, as always. Sir, your inputs, insightful inputs, definitely would lay a roadmap for the educationists as well as for the social activists. I think it is pertinent for me to mention here that the concept of gender budgeting in the Union Budget of India has been one of the various contributions of Bharatiya Stree Shakti. So this input I wanted to share because it was in my knowledge. Now moving ahead, as sir has already said, we are all very impatient to listen to our honorable चीफ गेस्ट ऑफ द डे। हमारे आज के कार्यक्रम की मुख्य अतिथि भारतीय स्त्री दर्शन व विमर्श में हम सब के लिए ज्योति स्वरूपा है। मानव कल्याण व नारी सशक्तिकरण की धारा में आदरणीय ज्योतिका कालरा मैडम स्वयं जाज्वल्यमान उदाहरण है, प्रेरणा स्रोत है। राष्ट्रकवि दिनकर जी के शब्दों में हिरनी सी सजग सजग, अग्नि सी धधक धधक, सिंह सी दहाड़ कर, शंख सी पुकार कर, अति सम्मानित ज्योतिका कालरा मैडम जी आज के कार्यक्रम की मुख्य अतिथि हैं। ऑनरेबल मेंबर नेशनल ह्यूमन राइट्स कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया मैडम ज्योतिका कालरा जी joined as a member National Human Rights Commission in April 2017. Before joining NHRC, Madam was a practicing advocate and advocate on record with the Honorable Supreme Court of India. Qualified from Delhi University and Kurukshetra University, Honorable Member has filed many PILs. Her raising the issue of non-recruitment of women in the armed forces resulted in opening of new vistas and opportunities for women in territorial army. Madam is instrumental in organizing various awareness campaigns in the country, especially regarding gender sensitization. She is author of 3 books. Honorable Member has also been awarded as Outstanding Women in 2014 by the National Commission for Women. She was also on the expert committee of NCW. A very passionate activist and as representative of various NGOs, esteemed Madam Kalra ji has attended international conferences at Istanbul, Manchester, and United Nations headquarters, New York. Since then, she has significantly worked on rights of domestic workers, workers in the Gulf, Dalit entry in temples, surrogacy, female feticide, and so on and so forth. After being appointed as member of the National Human Rights Commission, she has been dealing with the subjects like women, children, LGBTI, trafficking, reproductive rights, sexual harassment at the workplace, gender equality, and economic development, etc. I am pleased and I consider it my extreme honor to invite you, Honorable Madam Jyotika Kalra ji, for your expert remarks as the chief guest on the webinar today. Madam, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Sindhu ji, and a lot of thanks to Professor Manoj, the Vice-Chancellor of the university, and my dear friend Jyoti Chauthaiwale, because of whom I think I'm here. And I thank the university for giving me this opportunity to address you. और मुझे लग रहा है कि मैं इसको जरा सिंधु जी हिंदी में बात रखूं अपनी.
Sure, ma'am, sure.
और इतनी सब बातें, क्योंकि जो डेटा शेयर करने थे या जो टेक्निकली जो कारण है जिसके चलते ये पता चलता है कि महिलाओं की काम में जो भागीदारी है वो लगातार कम हो रही है, वो सब हमारे सामने बातचीत के माध्यम से आ गया. अभी जब आप मेरी क्वालिफिकेशन की बात बता रहे थे मेरे इंट्रोडक्शन में, तो मैं थोड़ा सा अपनी लाइफ को शेयर करना चाहती हूँ. जवान बच्चियां होंगी और जिन्हें हम वर्क ज्वाइन करने के लिए हम बात आज करने के लिए यहाँ बैठे हैं, तो अपनी जीवन का एक छोटा सा हिस्सा मैं बच्चों के साथ शेयर करना चाहती हूँ, ऑडियंस के साथ शेयर करना चाहती हूँ कि 1990 में मैंने लॉ किया था और 90 में ही मेरी शादी हो गई थी. 1990 में अगस्त का मेरा लॉ है, अक्टूबर में मेरी शादी हो गई थी. और 91 में मेरा पहला लड़का होता है और 93 में मेरा सेकंड सन वाज बोर्न. पर उस 93 he was rather born on 10th of December 1993. तो जब अभी वो पाइपलाइन में था मेरा दूसरा लड़का, तो मैंने 30,000 कोर्ट में अपना एक चैम्बर बना लिया था. मतलब शादी के साथ साथ 2 बच्चे भी और शादी भी और अपना चैम्बर कोर्ट के अंदर मैंने, मतलब विद इन 3 years ऑफ माई मैरिज ये सब कुछ कर लिया था. और जब ये मेरा लड़का पैदा होता है 10 दिसंबर को, तो सुबह 6 बजे, तो 9 दिसंबर को शाम को 6 या 7 बजे तक मैं कोर्ट में ही थी और मैं ऐसे ही शाम को 7 बजे घर आई. एंड ही वाज बोर्न विद इन 12 hours ऑफ माय कमिंग बैक फ्रॉम माय ऑफिस. और मैं ये शेयर करना चाहती हूँ, मुझे उसमें कोई हेजिटेशन नहीं है कि 28 साल की जब मैं 27 साल की थी जब ये मेरा सेकंड सन बॉर्न होता है, और जब मैं 28 साल की थी तो मैंने अपना स्टरलाइजेशन भी करा लिया था, क्योंकि मुझे कंफर्म था कि मुझे अब और बच्चे पैदा नहीं करने, या इस बच्चे पैदा करने की जो जद्दोजहद है उससे बाहर निकलना है मुझे. और 90 के बाद जब 2000 आता है, 10 साल मेरी शादी के होते हैं, एक लड़का मेरा 9 साल का और एक दूसरा जो था वो 6.5 साल का था। तो मैं बताना चाहती हूँ कि मैं 3 जगह काम करती थी। सुबह मैं आईपी कॉलेज दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी में बैचलर ऑफ मास मीडिया के स्टूडेंट्स को पढ़ाती थी। फिर मैं दिन में वकालत करती थी और शाम को मैं लॉ फैकल्टी यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ दिल्ली इवनिंग LC2 होता था और वहां पे पढ़ाने जाती थी। तो जब उस समय भी मेरी उम्र मतलब 34 इयर्स की रही होगी, तो मैं सब फैमिली और ये और वो सब कर कर आके मैं 3 काम करती थी परिवार के साथ। और ये जो मैंने LLM किया है, जिसके जिक्र आने से मुझे लगा कि मैं अपनी बात रखूं, LLM मैंने तब किया जब मेरे दोनों लड़के LLM कर मतलब पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन कर रहे थे। मतलब मेरी उम्र भी 50 साल थी और लगभग जब मेरी उम्र 45 साल या 42 साल थी तो मैंने एडवोकेट ऑन रिकॉर्ड सुप्रीम कोर्ट का पास किया था और 50 साल की उम्र में मैंने LLM किया। और अभी मेरी उम्र अगर 54 साल अभी अक्टूबर में हुई है, तो मैंने अब PhD में भी एडमिशन लिया। तो मैं एक मानवाधिकार आयोग के सदस्य भी हूँ और मैंने PhD में एडमिशन लिया। मुझे लगा कि मेरी क्वालिफिकेशन थोड़ी कम है। ये सब बताने का मेरा कारण ये है कि एक जो आम मानसिकता है समाज में कि अगर लड़कियां घर से बाहर निकलेंगी, घर के काम नहीं करेंगी, बच्चों की देखभाल नहीं करेंगी, तो जो परिवार है वो बिखर जाएगा, वो बच्चे बिगड़ जाएंगे, घर वालों की जो बुजुर्ग है फैमिली में उनकी सेवा नहीं हो पाएगी, और जो पति है वो बेचारा इतना काम करके आता है, उसको घर में देखने के लिए एक पत्नी या उसकी सेवा करने के लिए पत्नी उसको नहीं मिलेगी। इस मानसिकता के साथ हम समाज में पाते हैं हर जगह पर। मुझे बड़ा दुख होता है कि आज भी मैं देखती हूँ कि हाईली क्वालिफाइड PhD लड़कियां घर बैठी हुई है। मतलब वो अपने आप में जो भी कहती होंगी, पर वो इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी के साथ नहीं जुड़ी हुई, कमाई के साधन के साथ वो नहीं जुड़ी हुई। मैं देखती हूँ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट लड़कियां घर बैठी होती हैं, वकील तो बैठी ही होती हैं, डॉक्टर्स, मतलब किस मंशा से वो पढ़ती हैं, इतनी इतनी हाई क्वालिफिकेशन लेती हैं। और हमारा देश जहाँ की जेंडर पार्टिसिपेशन में बहुत नीचे के दर्जे पे आता है, बांग्लादेश से भी नीचे आता है, पर एज फार एज दी हाईली क्वालिफाइड वुमेन सिटिंग एट होम, तो हमारा देश नंबर 1 पर आता है। ऐसा डाटा कहता है कि सबसे ज्यादा पढ़ी लिखी महिलाएं घर बैठी हुई है, इसमें हमारा भारत देश सबसे अग्रणी है। और शिक्षा के मामले में आज महिलाएं और पुरुषों में कोई अंतर नहीं है। आप जहां भी कॉलेजेस में देखेंगे और टेक्निकल एजुकेशन में देखेंगे, हम लगभग 85, अगर 100 मेल हैं तो 85 फीमेल एजुकेशन में है, पर वो एजुकेशन एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी से नहीं जुड़ पा रही, आज भी नहीं जुड़ पा रही। डेटा ये कहते हैं देश की तरक्की न होने का एक बड़ा कारण ये है कि महिलाओं की शिक्षा इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी से समाज और देश के जो तरक्की होती है, जो डेवलपमेंट होता है, उससे नहीं, उसका लाभ उस प्रकार से नहीं होता। कि जब हम क्वालिटी एजुकेशन की बात करते हैं, जब हम ये बात करते हैं कि हम टेक्निकल स्किल एजुकेशन की बात करते हैं, तो अल्टीमेटली यही होता है कि उस शिक्षा को आप रोजगार में लाओगे, आप नए रोजगार पैदा करोगे, आप रिसोर्स जनरेट करोगे, आप एंटरप्रेन्योर बनोगे, उसी का इम्पैक्ट होता है जिससे कि देश तरक्की करता है। पर हमारी महिलाओं में जितनी भी हम शिक्षा में इन्वेस्टमेंट हो रही है, वो उसको रोजगार के स्तर पर नहीं ला पा रहे। उसके बहुत से कारण हैं। तो वही विषय हमें इस आज, और ज्योति चौटाईवाला के लिए मैं बहुत अच्छा लगा कि ऐसे गंभीर विषय को उन्होंने आज इस यूनिवर्सिटी के प्लेटफॉर्म से चर्चा के लिए रखा, क्योंकि हम चाहते हैं कि हमारी महिलाएं जो शिक्षित हैं, जो इतनी होशियार हैं, इंटेलिजेंट हैं, वो अपना जो योगदान है वो समाज में दे। वो यही नहीं सोचे कि मैं, मतलब एक लड़की सिर्फ यही ना सोच के संतुष्टि कर ले कि मैं, मेरा पति और मेरे बच्चे, यही मेरा जीवन है, मैंने पढ़ाई लिखाई अपने बच्चों को पढ़ाने के लिए की है। ये तक इस मिथ्या से उसको बाहर आना चाहिए। स्वामी विवेकानंद का मैं एक कोट पढ़ रही थी, उन्होंने बोला कि माता पिता का जो कर्तव्य है वो केवल बच्चों के जो डेवलप रास्ते में आने वाले रोड़ों को हटाना है, ना कि माँ का ये काम है कि वो बच्चे के लिए नोट्स बनाएगी, उसको मेमोराइज कराएगी, उसके एग्जाम चेक करेगी। मतलब सारा एक घर में एक जो बच्चे को पढ़ाई करनी थी वो पढ़ाई उसकी माँ करती है। तो वो शायद मेरे लिए, मुझे लगता है कि बच्चे की तरक्की के लिए भी सही घर में, मतलब एक ऐसा वातावरण देना जो पढ़ाई लिखाई का, मेहनत का वातावरण हो। और अगर मैं व्यक्तिगत बात कर रही हूँ, शायद मेरा मन नहीं था, पर मैं जस्ट शेयर करना चाहती हूँ मैं जैसे मैंने अपनी वकालत की बात करी, मैंने पढ़ाया, मैंने किताबें लिखी, मैंने वकालत करी, और सारा समय मैं अपने घर में अपने बच्चों को देखती थी। मैं उसके लिए कोई बहुत लंबा एक्सप्लेनेशन नहीं देने वाली, पर मेरे घर में पढ़ाई लिखाई का माहौल था। वो बच्चे यही देखते थे कि पिताजी भी सुबह घर से चले जाते हैं, माँ भी चली जाती है, और शाम को घर में आते हैं, और माँ भी जब वो देखते थे तो वो लैपटॉप खोल के किताबें खोल के बैठी, वो वातावरण था। तो उस वातावरण के चलते मुझे लगता है कि मैं भाग्यशाली क्या, मतलब शायद उस वातावरण का वो एक नतीजा था कि मेरे दोनों लड़कों ने बहुत अच्छे, एक IIT से पढ़ता और एक जामिया मिलिया से जर्नलिज्म की पढ़ाई करता, दोनों बहुत अच्छे सेटल है। तो माँ बाप का जो एक कर्तव्य है वो घर में एक ऐसा वातावरण देना जिसमें बच्चा शिक्षा के प्रति, काम के प्रति और स्वावलंबन होने के प्रति उसको वैसा वातावरण मिले और बच्चा वैसा बने। तो ये एक मैं बेसिक बात से शुरुआत करना चाहती हूँ कि जब तक ये लड़कियों के मन में, ये बहुत सी लड़कियों के मन में मैं देखती हूँ बहुत गिल्टी कॉन्शियस होती है कि मेरा बच्चा छोटा है, शादी काम करेगी, पर जैसी प्रेग्नेंट होंगी तो पहली बात है कि आप अपनी नौकरी छोड़ देंगे, तो छोटा बच्चा है तो हम इसको छोड़ नहीं सकते। मतलब आजकल की जो बच्चियां मैं देखती हूँ वो शायद अपनी सास या अपनी माँ के पास भी अपने बच्चों को छोड़ने के लिए वो मतलब ज्यादा पॉजेसिव है बच्चों के मामले में, आज की जो जनरेशन है। तो उससे उनको बाहर आना होगा कि जॉइंट फैमिली है, नानी दादी है, वो बच्चों को अच्छे से देखभाल कर सकते हैं और बच्चे को बहुत लंबे समय तक देखभाल करने की जरूरत नहीं है। और इसी के चलते मतलब वो कल्चरल वैल्यूज है, प्रेजुडिसेस है, धार्मिक मान्यताएं भी ऐसी बनती हैं जिससे कि महिला को आप पुरुष पे डिपेंडेंट बना देते हो कि वो घर के काम करेगी, पुरुष कमा के लेके आएगा और पुरुष उसकी सारी देखभाल करेगा। तो वो एक जो सेमन डे बेवर, जो एक फ्रेंच इंटेलेक्चुअल है, उन्होंने बोला है कि वन इज नॉट बोर्न बट रादर बिकम्स अ वुमन। मतलब महिला पैदा नहीं होती है, जिसको आप जेंडर स्टीरियोटाइप कहते हैं, पर उसको बना दिया जाता है। मतलब समाज में, परिवार में उसको महिला बना दिया जाता है और कभी भी ऐसा नहीं होता। और मैं तो आयोग में भी ऐसा, हमने एक रिसर्च प्रपोजल भी इनवाइट किया था कि एक ऐसी रिसर्च तो करके देखिए कि जितनी भी महिलाएं आर्थिक रूप से स्वावलंबी है, जो प्रोफेशनल्स हैं, क्या उनके परिवार सच में बिगड़ गए हैं? क्या उनके परिवार, उनके बच्चे, उनके पति सच में बिल्कुल बहुत ज्यादा प्रताड़ित है क्योंकि उनकी पत्नी या उनकी माँ काम करती है? और मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि अगर ऐसी कोई रिसर्च होती है तो नतीजा यही आएगा कि जो कामकाजी महिलाएं हैं उनके बच्चे ज्यादा स्वावलंबी, ज्यादा पढ़े लिखे और अच्छे तरीके से सेटल हुए हैं, अगर आप उसी को कंपेयर करेंगे कि जो माताएं घर में बैठ के पूरा समय, पूरा जीवन बच्चों पे लगा देती हैं। तो इस मिथ्या को कुछ हम अगर डेटा के साथ और कुछ ऐसी रिसर्च के साथ भी जोड़ सकें तो शायद बहुत अच्छा रहेगा। और जब हम सामाजिक न्याय की बात करते हैं, सोशल जस्टिस की बात करते हैं, तो शायद जेंडर इक्वालिटी, मतलब जो हमारा मानवाधिकार का भी, एवरी मैन एंड वीमेन इज बोर्न इक्वल एंड विद इनएलिएनेबल राइट ऑफ डिग्निटी, और वही हमारे फंडामेंटल राइट्स, मौलिक अधिकार, चैप्टर 3 ऑफ आवर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के आर्टिकल 14 में बराबरी के मौलिक अधिकार की बात करता है कि सब महिला और पुरुष बराबर है, उनको सबको बराबर के अधिकार है। तो सामाजिक न्याय तब तक संपूर्ण नहीं हो सकता जब तक हम उस बराबरी का जो दर्जा है महिला और पुरुष को नहीं दे पाते। आज जब इतनी बात हो रही है तो मैं थोड़ा सा एक कानूनी पक्ष भी आपके बीच में रखना चाहती हूँ कि ऐसी स्थिति बनती क्यों है, क्योंकि कैसे कैसे बाइसेस महिलाओं के विरुद्ध रहे। 1979 में सुप्रीम कोर्ट की जजमेंट है, यहाँ पे कुछ वकील भी होंगे, सीबी मथम्मा वर्सेस यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया, एक IFS ऑफिसर थी और इंडियन फॉरेन सर्विसेज की, और उस समय IFS के सर्विस रूल्स में ये कानून था कि अगर महिला IFS ऑफिसर शादी करेगी तो उसको परमिशन लेनी पड़ेगी अपने एम्प्लॉयर से, क्योंकि ये कहा गया कि उसके जो घर में काम काज करने की जो रिक्वायरमेंट है, बीइंग ए वाइफ और बीइंग ए मदर, तो उस काम करने से, उसके घर के काम से उसके IFS की जो जॉब रिक्वायरमेंट है उसके ऊपर इम्पैक्ट पड़ेगा। वो उनको प्रॉपरली और ठीक तरीके से नहीं कर पाएगी। तो ये मुथम्मा जो थी, इन्होंने जब सुप्रीम कोर्ट में इसको चैलेंज किया तो जस्टिस कृष्णा अय्यर ने अपने बहुत ही सुंदर शब्दों में बोला कि ये पूरी तरह से महिलाओं के प्रति एक भेदभाव की नीति है। 1979 की बात मैं कर रही हूँ। तो उसने बोला कि किस प्रकार की कैसी बात है कि अगर एक महिला को शादी करनी है तो सरकार से परमिशन चाहिए होगी, अगर एक शादी से जिम्मेदारियां बढ़ती हैं तो वो शादी की जिम्मेदारियां महिला क्या पुरुष पे भी बराबर बढ़ती हैं। और तो फिर अगर शादी किसी के एफिशिएंट काम करने की जो स्थिति है उसमें रोड़ा अटकाती है तो महिला ही नहीं पुरुष के लिए भी वो रोड़ा अटकाती है। और जस्टिस कृष्णा अय्यर ने 1979 में उस जो सर्विस रूल था उसको नलीफाई कर दिया। और जो डिस्क्रिमिनेशन महिलाओं के प्रति होता है और विवाहित महिलाओं के प्रति डिस्क्रिमिनेशन या भेदभाव ज्यादा होता है, उसका एक उदाहरण, और मैंने वो खुद ही मुकदमा डाला था दिल्ली हाईकोर्ट में। जज एडवोकेट जनरल का एग्जाम होता है जिसमें लॉ ग्रेजुएट्स आर्मी में जज की पोस्ट के लिए एग्जाम देती हैं। तो उसमें ये था कि मैरिड विमेन उसके लिए एंटाइटल नहीं थी एग्जाम देने के लिए, जबकि मैरिड पुरुष थे। और जब मैंने हाईकोर्ट में वो डाली रिट पिटीशन तो उसका फाइनली नतीजा ये हुआ कि उन्होंने मैरिड विमेन को राइट देने की बजाय मैरिड मेन से भी ये राइट ले लिया कि मैरिड मेन भी। और जब उसका जवाब आया था इस पिटीशन का हाई कोर्ट में, तो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ डिफेंस ने बड़ी क्लियरली बोला था कि हम मैरिड विमेन को नहीं ले सकते, क्योंकि मैरिड विमेन को रिक्रूट करने से जो एम्प्लॉयर है या जो मंत्रालय है उसके ऊपर उसकी प्रेगनेंसी लीव, उसकी मैटरनिटी जो बेनिफिट्स है उन सबका एडिशनल बर्डन पड़ेगा और उसके काम काज में रोड़ा अटकाएगा। तो ये किया कि मैरिड विमेन को मौका ना देके मैरिड मेन से भी मौका ले लिया, जो कि मुझे लगता है कि जब समाज में महिला इतना इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले कर रही है और प्रोग्रेशन, अगर समाज बढ़ेगा ही नहीं तो तरक्की ही नहीं करेगा तो ये समाज समाप्त हो जाएगा और वो पूरा का पूरी जिम्मेदारी महिला ने अपने कंधों पर ली है। तो ये समाज का और सरकारों का नैतिक कर्तव्य बनता है। जब सरकार मैटरनिटी बेनिफिट 28 हफ्ते बढ़ाती है तो किस प्रकार और क्यों फिर भी ये लगता है कि मैटरनिटी बेनिफिट देना महिला को सरकार के लिए नुकसान की बात होगी। तो इस चीजों को हमें सिरे से खारिज करना होगा, इस पर हमें बात करनी होगी और जो इसमें बातचीत लगातार करनी होगी कि महिला जब बच्चा पैदा करती है तो वो कोई अपने लिए या अपने पति के लिए, अपने परिवार के लिए बच्चा नहीं पैदा करती, समाज को एक जीव देती है जिससे समाज तरक्की करता है, आगे बढ़ता है। तो इसलिए उसकी जो इस रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी को जब वो डिस्चार्ज करती है तो समाज और देश को उसको पूरा सहयोग देना चाहिए। जो कानूनों में व्यवस्था जो अधिकार दिए गए 28 हफ्ते की मैटरनिटी लीव दी गई, वो देते समय कभी ये नहीं सोचना चाहिए कि हमें ये नुकसान हो रहा है। और इसी तरह प्रेगनेंसी को भी टर्मिनेशन का एक ग्राउंड बनाया, वो जजमेंट नागरेश मिर्जा और एयरलाइंस में वो एयर होस्टेस से एयर इंडिया में, इंडियन एयरलाइंस में, तो फिर तो भी ये था कि अगर आप प्रेग्नेंट होती हैं तो आपको नौकरी से हटाया जा सकता है। तो वही ऐसी बात है, वो भी सुप्रीम कोर्ट में फैसला होता है। इसी प्रकार टेरिटोरियल आर्मी में महिलाओं को रिक्रूट नहीं किया जाता था, पॉलिसी थी, तो वो भी मैंने दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट में जजमेंट डाली थी, पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट लिटिगेशन। तो महिलाओं को टेरिटोरियल आर्मी में अब उसके बाद रिक्रूटमेंट का राइट मिलता है। और परमानेंट कमीशन इन आर्म्ड फोर्सेस अभी कुछ पिछले साल 2018 की जजमेंट है, जब सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने, दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट ने परमानेंट कमीशन आर्म्ड फोर्सेस में महिलाओं को दिया था, परंतु मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ डिफेंस ने उसको चैलेंज किया सुप्रीम कोर्ट में। और इवन लास्ट ईयर में डिफेंस मंत्रालय, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ये निर्णय दिया कि परमानेंट कमीशन मतलब को महिलाओं को भी आर्म्ड फोर्सेस में पूरी नौकरी करने का अधिकार है। अभी तक वो केवल 10 साल के लिए नौकरी करती थी, ये बिल्कुल पिछले साल की बात है। और इसी प्रकार ये मुकदमा भी मैंने सुप्रीम कोर्ट में किया था। ये चारू खुराना नाम की लड़की मेकअप आर्टिस्ट थी, जो कि मुंबई में मेकअप आर्टिस्ट सिने आर्टिस्ट यूनियन में एनरोल्ड थी। उन्होंने बोला कि महिलाओं को हम मेकअप आर्टिस्ट का लाइसेंस नहीं दे सकते सिने इंडस्ट्री में, कि अगर महिलाओं को मेकअप आर्टिस्ट का हम लाइसेंस दे देंगे तो पुरुषों से कोई मेकअप नहीं कराएगा, और उसको नहीं दिया गया। और जब सुप्रीम कोर्ट में उस मुंबई की जो यूनियन का जो आदेश था उसको हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट में मैंने ही चैलेंज किया था, और जस्टिस दीपक मिश्रा ने उस रूल को गलत ठहराया जिसमें ये लिखा हुआ था कि केवल पुरुष मेकअप आर्टिस्ट बन सकते हैं। तो ये ऐसी जो बाइसेस होते हैं, जो इंस्टीट्यूशनल बाइसेस एग्जिस्ट करते हैं, वो भी एक अपने आप में कारण रहता है कि महिलाएं उतने पूरे तरीके से वर्क फोर्स को ज्वाइन नहीं कर पाती, क्योंकि इंस्टीट्यूशनल बैरियर्स भी आते हैं उनके सामने। और अगर आज भी देखिए रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ पीपल एक्ट में जो महिलाओं की अमेंडमेंट की बात हुई, हर राजनीतिक दल उसको बड़े जोरों शोरों से कहता है, हर राजनीतिक दल कहता है कि हाँ महिलाओं का एडिक्वेट रिप्रेजेंटेशन होना चाहिए 33%, जब उसकी आबादी 50% है, 33% रिजर्वेशन उसको मिलना चाहिए। वोटर 50% महिलाएं हैं, या कहीं कहीं पे अभी बिहार में आया महिलाओं ने पुरुषों से ज्यादा वोट किया। एक केवल बिहार में नहीं, अन्य राज्यों में भी आप देखते हो कि महिलाएं पुरुषों से ज्यादा वोट करती हैं, पर जब नेतृत्व की बात आती है, जब चुन के बात आती है, तो ये लगता है कि महिलाएं तो विनेबल कैंडिडेट नहीं है, एक पुरुष के सामने महिला को मौका नहीं मिलता, तो वो उसके ना चलते महिलाओं की सहभागिता नहीं हो पाती, महिलाओं के लिए काम के अवसर नहीं बढ़ पाते, क्योंकि उनका लीडरशिप पोजीशन पे महिलाओं की कमी है। ये जो हमारी इस लोकसभा 17वीं लोकसभा है 2019 की, इसमें 78 मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट है, जब सबसे ज्यादा है, पर वो सबसे ज्यादा मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट 16वीं लोकसभा में मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट महिलाएं केवल 11% थी। इस लोकसभा में जो मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट 78 होने के चलते 14.3 है। तो हम इसके बारे में भी हम रखें, क्योंकि अगर हम देख रहे हैं कि महिलाएं काम पे उनका जो पार्टिसिपेशन वो लगातार घट रहा है, तो हमें कुछ इम्पेटस देना होगा, कुछ ऐसा धक्का देना होगा, कुछ सपोर्ट देना होगा। और रिजर्वेशन महिलाओं के फेवर में संवैधानिक प्रावधान है, आर्टिकल 15 में संविधान में ये लिख दिया गया कि अगर सरकार चाहे तो महिलाओं और बच्चों के लिए विशेष कानून बना सकती है, तो महिलाओं के लिए रिजर्वेशन हो सकती है, इसका प्रावधान संविधान में है। तो हम इस प्रकार से रिजर्वेशन के द्वारा आज भी हाई कोर्ट में, सुप्रीम कोर्ट में जजेस की अगर हम संख्या देखें तो बहुत नगण्य है, 10% भी महिला जजेस नहीं है। और 1950 से आज तक 229 सुप्रीम कोर्ट जजों में सिर्फ 6 महिला सुप्रीम कोर्ट जजेस आए। महिलाओं की सिर्फ 3% से भी कम मैनेजरियल और एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव लेवल पर भागीदारी है। जूनियर लेवल पर तो फिर भी है, पर जितना लेवल ऊपर जाता है भागीदारी महिलाओं की लगातार कम होती जा रही है। तो आज इस बात को करने के लिए हम जब मानवाधिकार दिवस को मना रहे हैं, तो महिलाओं और जो ऑल मेन एंड विमेन आर बॉर्न इक्वल, जो आर्टिकल 1 हमारे यूनिवर्सल डिक्लेरेशन ऑफ ह्यूमन राइट्स की बात करता है, तो इक्वल का मतलब ये भी होता है कि उनको इक्वल राइट्स, उनको इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिलेगी। पर अगर कोई जो लॉ के स्टूडेंट्स हैं तो वो भी ये जानते हैं कि इक्वल का मतलब होता है इक्वल्स टू बी ट्रीटेड इक्वली, नॉट दैट कि हर व्यक्ति को बराबरी का अधिकार मिलेगा, जो बराबर है उनको बराबरी का अधिकार मिलेगा। पर जो हम देखते हैं कि महिलाओं के साथ गत समय में इतिहास में बहुत डिस्क्रिमिनेशन हुई, अन्य काफी जेंडर स्टीरियोटाइप उनके खिलाफ चले, तो उनको अगर हमें बराबरी का अधिकार देने की बात करते हैं तो हमें उन्हें कुछ स्पेशल फेवर्स देनी पड़ेंगी। जैसे कि उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार में जुडिशियल ऑफिसर्स में महिलाओं की 20% की रिजर्वेशन है, पुलिस में भी महिलाओं की रिजर्वेशन है, होनी ही चाहिए। जब हम लॉ एंड ऑर्डर की बात करते हैं, जब सेक्सुअल वायलेंस की बात करते हैं, डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस की बात करते हैं, तो पुलिस के महकमे में महिलाओं का एक रिजर्वेशन, एक 20% या 25% या 45, जो भी जिस प्रकार भी सरकार को उचित लगे, एक एक्स नंबर ऑफ विमेन होनी ही चाहिए। और इसी के द्वारा जो महिलाओं की काम और इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटीज में उनकी पार्टिसिपेशन है वो बढ़ेगी। और क्योंकि जो आज के जो हमारे प्रावधान है, जो सारे तरीके हैं, हमने कानून बना लिए, सब कर लिया, पर महिलाओं की भागीदारी अगर नहीं बढ़ पा रही तो हमें इससे बेहतर, इससे कुछ ज्यादा करना पड़ेगा। हमें सरकार के लेवल पर काम हुए हैं, जैसे मैंने बोला कि मैटरनिटी लीव को 26 हफ्ते का किया गया, जैसे मैंने बोला कि यूपी में रिजर्वेशन है महिलाओं की जुडिशियल ऑफिसर पुलिस के लिए, और लिस्टेड कंपनीज में एक फीमेल डायरेक्टर होनी चाहिए। ये भी कंपनीज एक्ट का एक प्रावधान है, जिसके चलते मुझे भी अवसर मिला एक कंपनी में महिला होने के नाते इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर बनने का। जो हमारा प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ ह्यूमन राइट्स एक्ट है उसमें भी एक महिला मेंबर होनी चाहिए हमेशा, इसका भी प्रावधान इस अमेंडमेंट बात के बाद आया। तो इस प्रकार की जो पॉलिसीज हैं, इस प्रकार के जो रिजर्वेशन के बातें हैं, वो महिलाओं की भागीदारी को बढ़ाएंगी। और दूसरा, एक सेफ पब्लिक स्पेस हमको इंश्योर करनी ही पड़ेगी, क्योंकि बहुत सी लड़कियां घर से बाहर ना निकलने का कारण ये भी रहता है कि उनको डर है, वो सेफ नहीं है। तो हमें सेफ पब्लिक स्पेसेस, वो एक लंबा काम है, वो काम बहुत मेहनत वाला है, पर हमें लगातार ये सोचना होगा कि अगर महिलाओं की भागीदारी हम चाहते हैं तो हमें सेफ पब्लिक स्पेसेस, सेफ मेट्रो, सेफ बसेस, सेफ ऑटो, सेफ टैक्सीज, कैब्स, अब ये सब उबर और ओला के चलते वो उनकी सब ट्रैकिंग होती है, तो एक कंपैरेटिवली काफी सेफ है। हर गाड़ी एक चेन से बंधी हुई है। तो बस इसी प्रकार के हमें टेक्नोलॉजी एनेबल्ड सिस्टम और एनकरेज करने पड़ेंगे ताकि महिलाओं की सुरक्षा को हम अच्छे तरीके से सुनिश्चित कर सकें। और एक मानसिकता, एक माइंडसेट लोगों के दिमाग से निकालना होगा कि एक कैरियर ओरिएंटेड वुमेन, पढ़ने लिखने वाली औरत, पैसा कमाने वाली औरत भी एक अच्छी माँ, एक अच्छी पत्नी, एक अच्छी बहू, एक अच्छी बेटी हो सकती है। इस जो एक जकड़न है लोगों के, एक समाज के दिमाग में कि नहीं, एक कैरियरिस्टिक, एक सक्सेसफुल वुमेन विल ऑलवेज बी liability for the family. I think we need to overcome that. जैसे वो जो कहते हैं ना, behind any successful man there is a woman, तो वो चीज को हमें थोड़ा सा अपने दिमाग को से बाहर निकलना पड़ेगा। ये एक महिला का सिर्फ रोल एक पुरुष को सक्सेसफुल बनाना ऐसा नहीं है। एक सक्सेसफुल पुरुष, एक सक्सेसफुल महिला और सक्सेसफुल बच्चे एक साथ को एग्जिस्ट कर सकते हैं। और उसके लिए भी मैं जैसे बच्चों से हम बात कर रहे हैं, तो उसके लिए जरूरी है कि हम अपने मानसिक माइंडसेट को तैयार करें। लड़की को काम करना है तो उसको घर में एक खाना बनाने वाले का इंतजाम, घर में बच्चों के देखभाल करने वाले का इंतजाम, एल्डरली लोगों को देखने वालों का इंतजाम, ये सब कुछ उसकी प्राथमिकता में होना चाहिए। उसको ये नहीं करना कि खाना खाने की जरूरत है, गर्म खाने की जरूरत है, मैं ही चकला बेलन बनाऊंगी और मैं ही रोटी बनाऊंगी। उसको वो सिस्टम्स क्रिएट करने होंगे जिसमें उसको भी लुक आफ्टर करने वाला मिले और घर वालों को भी एक अच्छा भोजन मिले। तो वो सिस्टम्स और एम्प्लॉयमेंट भी जनरेट होगी, वो सिस्टम्स क्रिएट करने पड़ेंगे। लड़कियों को काम पर निकलना है और उनको असरदार बनना है, तो उसके लिए जरूरी है कि वो नेटवर्किंग करें, वो दोस्त बनाए, वो मिले, वो कॉन्फ्रेंसेस अटेंड करें, वो अपने घर से बाहर निकले। वो ये ना सोचे कि घर मेरा जीवन मेरा घर है, वो बाहर जाए। और शायद अगर ज्योति चौटाईवाला को ध्यान होगा तो एक बार हम एक बातचीत में बात कर रहे थे कि आपकी प्रोफेशनल एक आइडेंटिटी होती है और आपकी एक पर्सनल आइडेंटिटी। प्रोफेशनल आप किसी रोजगार से जुड़े होते हैं, आप पर्सनल होती है पत्नी, माँ, और इस प्रकार के आप रोल होते हैं। पर आप ये भी सोचो कि आपकी एक सोशल आइडेंटिटी भी होती है। सोशियो आइडेंटिटी मतलब कि जो लोग आपको आपकी उस पहचान के लिए जानते हैं, तो वो सोशल आइडेंटिटी बनाने की कोशिश करें। बहुत कम समय लगता है, आप पूरे साल में 12 दिन भी शायद नहीं लगेंगे, लिमिटेड आवर्स लगते हैं। पर आप सोचिए कि आई शुड बी लाइक एक्सेसिबल टू ऑल, आई शुड बी पार्टिसिपेटिंग in the socio-political and the economic activities of the state. I am an important component of this country. And और महिलाओं को, लड़कियों को अपने आप को हमेशा बहुत इक्विप्ड रखना चाहिए, जानकारी बढ़ाते रहना चाहिए, अखबारें पढ़नी चाहिए, टीवी में देखना चाहिए, ऐसी डिबेट्स, ऐसे डिस्कशंस में पार्टिसिपेट करना चाहिए। आजकल डिजिटल युग है, डिजिटल युग में आपको अपने आप को अपडेट करना चाहिए, क्योंकि एक ऐसा भी कहा जाता है कि पुरुष मैन इज प्रिज्यूम्ड टू बी कॉम्पिटेंट whereas a woman has to prove her competency. So she has to travel a little bit more than a man when it comes to the judgment about the competency of women. But I believe that women, with more of efforts, with more of investment in her profession, in her knowledge, in her information and in her performance, will certainly come up very well. And with that intelligent women, performing women, then the entire society starts owning them and starts saying that I want my daughter to become like you. So you need to settle you need to become the ideals for the society. You need to become role models for the society. And then I would like to conclude by just quoting Miss Asher Duflo, who is the professor of economics at MIT and who has also won the Nobel Prize. And I quote, "Women empowerment and economic development are closely related. In one direction, development can play a major role in bringing down inequality between men and women in other direction. Empowering women may benefit women. So it is both development of women and inequality are, they are moving in a wheel. पहले inequality है या पहले equality है फिर development है. मैंने social justice से जोड़ा था और डेफलो उसको development से जोड़ती है. तो equality से social justice भी मिलेगा और development भी मिलेगी. और उसके बाद एनेट डिक्सन जो वाइस प्रेसिडेंट थी वर्ल्ड बैंक की साउथ एशिया, उन्होंने बोला कि हमारे देश में जीडीपी में महिलाओं के कंट्रीब्यूशन 17% है, 17%, कि 17% ऑफ द जीडीपी, द इकोनॉमिक कंट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ द इंडियन वुमेन इज लेस देन हाफ ऑफ द ग्लोबल एवरेज. दैट कंपेयर्स अनफेवरेबली. मतलब जो विश्व की ग्लोबल एवरेज में महिलाओं की जीडीपी में पार्टिसिपेशन है वो 34% है, हमारी उससे आधी है. और चाइना की जो महिलाओं की पार्टिसिपेशन जीडीपी है वो 40% है. और यही कहती हैं एनेट डिक्सन कि अगर महिलाएं 50% महिलाएं भी काम को ज्वाइन करें, वर्कफोर्स को ज्वाइन करें, तो हमारी जो जीडीपी की ग्रोथ है वो 1.5% से लेके 9% बढ़ सकती है अगर 50% महिलाएं काम के क्षेत्र को ज्वाइन करें. और मैं इसके साथ यूनिवर्सिटी का धन्यवाद देना चाहती हूँ और आप सभी लिसनर्स का धन्यवाद देना चाहती हूँ कि आपने मुझे सुना. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद मैडम. जीवन शब्द, शब्द जीवन. मैं निस्तब्ध, मैं मुक्त, बातें करें ये शब्द. मुझे लगता है मेरे साथ साथ इस मंच पर बैठे सभी विशिष्ट अतिथि व हमारे साथ जुड़े इतने सारे श्रोतागण, सब लोग स्तब्ध होंगे. कितने सुंदर तरीके से अपने अपने जीवन के व्यक्तिगत प्रसंगों का उल्लेख करते हुए हम सबको प्रेरणादायी ये सुंदर शब्द हम सबको आपसे सुनने को मिले हैं. मैडम, यू आर ऑलरेडी अ रोल मॉडल एंड as you have said, many women would like their daughters to follow your footprints, and you have left so much beautiful impressions on the minds of everybody, especially the young generation, the young women. We are so grateful to you, ma'am, as you have very analytically sketched out the various dimensions of the problem of female labor force in India. And you have emphatically also talked about the possible solutions, those practical remedies and those practical solutions. Extremely honored and humbled with your precious presence, esteemed madam. I'm sure your enlightening thoughts have radiated enough energy amongst the audiences and young generation in particular. I express my gratitude on behalf of my university and my School of Social Sciences and Honorable Vice-Chancellor, sir, for your being here with us and blessing us all at this today's webinar, madam. I also, on behalf of School of Social Sciences, am grateful for the august presence of Honorable Vice-Chancellor, Professor Manoj Dhar sahab, who has presided over the function. Also, Shri S. Santhimanalan ji, who has graced us as being our special invitee and guest. Our distinguished speakers, Dr. Jyoti Chauthaiwale ji and Dr. Anamika Singh ji, for gracing the occasion and giving their beautiful presentations, which were very insightful and informative. Definitely, your pearls of wisdom, enriched with experience and expertise, would benefit each one connected to us through this webinar today. अंत में इस कार्यक्रम के आयोजन में आप सबका सफल सहभाग हम सबको आपके प्रति कृतज्ञ करता है. मैं तहे दिल से धन्यवादी हूँ, आभारी हूँ हमारी आज की मुख्य अतिथि मैडम ज्योतिका कालरा जी की, जो कि मेंबर हैं नेशनल ह्यूमन राइट्स कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया, कि मैडम आपने हमारा सरस नहीं निवेदन इतने सहजता से स्वीकार कर हमें ये मान दिया, ये सम्मान दिया. आपका बहुत बहुत आभार। साथ ही मैं अपना आभार व्यक्त करना चाहती हूँ हमारे आज के अध्यक्ष ऑनरेबल वाइस चांसलर प्रोफेसर मनोज धर साहब का, कि जिन्होंने आज पूरा समय हमारे साथ रहकर हमारा मार्गदर्शन किया। सर, वी आर beholden to you. Many, many thanks. I also take this opportunity to extend my vote of thanks to the special invitee and guest, Regional Director Shri Santhimanalan ji, for having given us your great information and presence and honoring us with your words of wisdom. Thank you so much, sir. इस कार्यक्रम की सूत्रधार जिन्होंने हम बातचीत करके हमने हमारे ये आज का जो थीम है वो यहाँ तक पहुंचाया, मैडम ज्योति चौथाईवाला जी, आप वंदनीय हैं और मेरा आभार आपके प्रति, मेरी कृतज्ञता आपके प्रति कि आपके कारण, आपकी सूत्रधारिता के कारण हम आज ये आयोजन सफलतापूर्वक कर पाए। हमारी बहुत ही प्यारी साथी डॉक्टर अनामिका जी का भी मैं तहे दिल से धन्यवाद करती हूँ कि जिन्होंने हमें अपना ये मूल्यवान समय प्रदान किया। Definitely, I will be failing in my duty if I won't mention the great initiative and support being rendered by Heritage Society Patna. They have been our successful digital partners, and I wish to thank here especially Dr. Anant Ashutosh Chaturvedi ji and his whole team, because they have selflessly been rendering this service, and they are the true pillars of strength when we have to organize such digital programs. No doubt we had glitched somewhere at the beginning, but I guess with the presence and the continuity and the flow with which we could proceed on, I think we are successful to have your blessings, and the audiences must have gained lots of information, latest information, because of the organization of this webinar. At the same time, I take this opportunity to thank from the inner cause of my heart to all the activists, students, faculty, officials of the university, for they have been the heart and soul as the audiences. They have rendered great success to the organization of this seminar. Many thanks to each one who has been connected with us, but we have to continue with the struggle, because as honorable member has said, gender equality and social equality we need to strive on, and it is a continuous process definitely. और मैं अंत में हमारे राष्ट्र कवि रामधारी सिंकर जी की ही वाणी से अपनी वाणी को लगाम दूंगी, जब वो कहते हैं, जब तक मनुज का ये सुख भाग सम ना होगा, सम मतलब बराबर, जब तक मनुज का ये सुख भाग सम ना होगा, शमित ना होगा कोलाहल, संघर्ष नहीं कम होगा। धन्यवाद, बहुत बहुत आप सबका आभार इस कार्यक्रम में हमसे जुड़ने के लिए और हमें अपना आशीर्वाद प्रदान करने के लिए। अंत में एक बार आप सबका फिर वंदन, अभिनंदन, प्रणाम।
धन्यवाद।
Many thanks to each one of you.